Hi, I'm Jason Sargent, licensed and board-certified massage therapist at the Massachusetts General Hospital Cancer Center. And in today's video, I'll be demonstrating some self-care techniques that help with those tight shoulders. And we'll be using a pinky ball. But if you don't have a pinky ball, a tennis ball works great too. And if you really prefer deep pressure, you could even try a lacrosse ball. So let's begin with our shrugging muscles, the traps, or the trapezius. And that's these large, tight ones up here that usually burn at the end of the day from being at the computer too long. And then we'll also focus on its partner shrugging muscle, which is underneath. It's a little smaller. It's called the levator scapulae. Levator scapulae originates in the cervical spine, right at C1 and 4, and then it comes and descends down to the scapula. And it inserts right about here at the border of the scapula. Actually, that really sore, crunchy spot that we're always rubbing constantly. Well, we call those knots sometimes. They're also known as myofascial trigger points. And with the right pressure, you can dissipate those little crunchy spots and they start to melt. A lot like pressing an ice cube. If you can visualize pressing an ice cube between your fingertips and then it melts. Well, that's what we're trying to do with the pinky ball. Now you can try this anytime during the day, especially when you're at the desk for a long period of time. Just take a few minutes, take a break, do these exercises, and it will really help you de-stress these shoulders. So let's try it now. Place the ball against the wall, and then just lean up against it, and bend your knees slightly, and use your body weight to press into that ball. And then just go up and down. Look for those knots, those tight areas that are usually burning throughout the day. And then you can just stay right there, apply the pressure. And at first, it might be a little sensitive initially, but the longer you stay there, the pain goes away. And you can stay here from anywhere between 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And it actually starts feeling really great. Just like that. And then just search for more knots. You can roll back and forth in the upper trap. Come back around to levator scapulae insertion and around the whole shoulder blade itself. It works really well. But if you're finding the ball keeps falling out of place, dropping it on the floor, the dog keeps running away with it, it's just great fun. There's another way you could do this. And actually it's probably the best. You just take a sock and place it inside. And then you can get really great control over the ball. Flip it over your shoulder. And you can actually go a lot lower, down between the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blade and the spine. Just be sure not to place the ball directly on the spine. You want to find the muscle. And then again, bend the knees and press into that knot. You can roll up and down and it feels really great. And make sure to breathe. You can hang out in that spot for about 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You can feel those knots just dissipating as you apply the pressure. Then you can bring it back up again. Roll up and down on those traps. And back up to levator scapulae insertion there. That's really crunchy usually in most people. It's great just to hang out there. And breathe. Now that you've done one side of the shoulders, you can repeat the same steps on the other side. And then your shoulders, your upper shoulders should be nice and warmed up, ready for active stretching. And right now we'll target the levator scapulae. Again, placing the ball there, and then lean into it. Look for that insertion of the levator scapulae to the shoulder blade or the border of the scapula. And again, we were there before. massaging it. It's that trigger point that's crunchy, and it's usually burning throughout the day. So just find that spot again. You'll know when you get there. All right, there it is there. And then turn your head 45 degrees. Gently place your hand on top of your head, and we're going to stretch this muscle down towards, if you had one, your shirt pocket. And don't pull down too hard, just gently guide the head down. We want to feel the lengthening of the levator scapulae. You can also just focus on the left hip and then back up. And then again, go towards the opposite elbow, 45 degrees, down to your shirt pocket or left hip. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds. Back up. And you can do that for 8 repetitions. Again, guide the head down with your hand and hold for 2 to 3 seconds. Back up. Make sure to breathe, and it feels excellent. Okay? And then you can do both sides. The next exercise I would like to demonstrate focuses on a muscle called infraspinatus, and it's a rotator cuff muscle that can cause a whole lot of pain, especially with those with poor posture and rounded shoulders. It can give athletes a tremendous amount of pain from repetitive throwing of a ball too. So this would be a great one to focus on for a little bit. And we can find it, if you can see here, on the scapula or shoulder blade. It's right about here. And that's where we want to make sure we can get that ball. And I think the best way to do that is to use the sock once again. So let's get that back in there. Flip it over our shoulder, just like before. But this time, we want to get it right on the shoulder blade. Bend your knees slightly. Move around and experiment. Try to find those tender spots, those trigger points. Now these rotator cuff muscles can be very tender, so you might need to ease up on the pressure a little bit. They can be extra sensitive. And once you find that exact spot that's tender, you can apply pressure for about 8 to 10 seconds and breathe. And then you can start to feel the muscles loosening up. As the muscle starts to relax, you can lengthen the time to 30 seconds and breathe. Then you can repeat those steps on the other shoulder. Well, this concludes today's self-care techniques for our upper shoulders. And just remember to take a break during the day. If you're on a computer for long periods of time, just take a few minutes, get out that ball, massage those shoulders, and it can really help with our stress. Well, thanks for watching.